Welcome to Quest for Metal, and welcome to your most overrated black metal albums of all time. I asked everyone in the community post what you think is the most overrated black metal band. I said album just then. I meant band of all time, and you guys delivered over a fucking 129 comments, you crazy fuckers. Obviously I can't read all of them. We're going to summarise some of them and talk about the bands, mainly the bands that you've talked about the most. And starting off straight away with what I see right here, Mayhem. By Armour, it says, Mayhem outclassed by almost all black metal bands emerging at the time, music-wise. There's been a lot of Mayhem. Everyone in here is saying Mayhem. It's probably the band that people say the most. Do I agree with it? Somewhat. Yes, somewhat. Mayhem's definitely a band overshadowed by the notoriety. All the stuff that happened, I'm not going to go into it. But the music itself is, it's pretty good. Day Mysterious is amazing. Death Crush is my personal favourite. Love it. Live in Leipzig, fantastic with Dead on vocals. Damon's a great return to form. And Chimera is fantastic as well. So they have great albums. They have killer albums. But they're pretty inconsistent. Like, some of the stuff in the middle is kind of okay. And even Chimera and Damon is not, like, fantastic. It's not like, let's talk about Emperor. All 4 albums, pretty fucking great. Mayhem, all of their albums great? Not really. Some of them are not that good. I know some people's favourites, Grand Declaration of War, I don't like that one. Ordo is fine. There's a lot of ones where it's just okay. Definitely not the greatest black metal band of all time, like some people say. Definitely not the worst. Are they overrated? Yeah, sure. I'll agree. They're pretty overrated. I love them, still got the shirt. Still will play the shit out of them, but overrated? Yes. Another one says Mayhem. Everyone's saying Mayhem. Mark says Satyricon. First 2-3 albums are good, and that's it. Satyricon. There was a couple of others with Satyricon. This is another one I agree with. The first couple of albums, again, Shadow Throne, Nemesis Divinia, yeah, they're all bloody good. Everything else after, not a big fan of, to be honest. Not a big fan of. Probably my least favourite black metal band. So, I can agree with you, Satyricon. I can agree with you. There is some fun to be had with King and stuff like that. Yeah, but... a lot of them are just so boring. I don't know. I kind of agree with Satyricon. Even though the early stuff is amazing, everything else is okay. So I probably agree more with Satyricon than Mayhem, because I love more Mayhem. He also said Behemoth, never got the hype. Fair enough. Cradle and Dimmu, does accessibility mean quality? It's just not for him. You could argue that Cradle and Dimmu are overrated, just because they're more popular. It doesn't mean bad, though. It doesn't mean bad. Marduk, I don't understand this one. He says, good band with solid output, but people say how amazing they are with some of the best, and they can't agree. I love Marduk, so I disagree with anyone who's saying Marduk. I love all their albums. They're consistent as fuck. One of the most consistent black metal bands of all time. There's only one Air album, that's Victoria. Out of what, like 15 albums? Come on, even Darkthrone can't fucking do that. Marduk, very consistent. Every album's great. I don't think they're overrated. I think they're perfectly rated. Questy talks. Next up, more Mayhem. Captain Value says, Mayhem needs no explanation. Nope. Blackwater Rust. Hello. Dark Funeral. Band whose discography was so disappointing. More misses than hits, and you compare them to best albums of legendary bands like Windir, Bathory, Burzum. Doesn't hold a candle. I can see your point. I like Dark Funeral. I like every single album. I think they're consistent as well. So I don't think they have loads of misses, but none of their albums are as influential or as great as any of the bands you just said. Bathory, Burzum, even Mayhem. No Dark Funeral album is as good as Day Mysterious. It just isn't. So I can see your point, and I can see why people would say that's overrated. I still love them. I still love Dark Funeral, but I can see your point. Owl says Silencer easy, and then gives a massive fucking essay. But yeah, it says the instrumentals boring and the vocals are just unlistenable, and Silencer's vocals are just insane. So I can kind of see why you'd say this one's overrated, because the vocals are just out there and batshit mental. I enjoy Silencer. No, I enjoy most of these bands. Satyricon's the only one that I was kind of like, definitely. That's definitely overrated. The rest I actually really enjoy. So I enjoy Silencer, I love my DSBM, but I can understand why people wouldn't. The vocals are insane, so I agree, Owl. I kind of agree. I kind of disagree, but yeah. Someone says everyone's going to say Mayhem, but it's Venom, hands down. You're going to say, why is Venom? Oh, then he just says, or it's Dark Throne. Venom, I wouldn't say they're overrated. They're influential. They, pretty much kick-started the genre. They're not overrated, though. They're fine. Jonathan Mackey says, Burzum, it's fine. He's only listened to Philosophem and a few tracks here and there, but nothing has stood out, and nothing's better than any atmospheric black metal band. The fact you said you haven't listened to any more makes me disregard your comment. But some other people have said Burzum as well, so let's talk about Burzum. Burzum. Some people say that only Philosophem is good and the rest is shit. They're wrong. That's not even the best album. Like, the best album is, and the debut's my personal favourite. I love the punchiness of the debut and the EP Ask. Even like Fallen's great, Belus, so Burzum's the one that got me into black metal. So I'll always simp for Varg, of course. I'll always simp for Varg. Have a little sippy for Varg. But I mean, I can see why people would say they're overrated. Some people like me will be like, oh my god, they're the best. Ah! So that counts as overrated, to be honest, because a lot of people dick ride them. So yeah, you could say they're overrated, so I'll agree with you, but I still love them, and still one of my favourite bands of all time. Shane Song, hello Shane, from the Discord, says Dark Throne for you. Now, Dark Throne is an interesting one. I love Dark Throne, one of the greatest black metal bands of all time. Overrated? You could say so. A lot of people say they're the best. And are they hit and miss? Yeah, kind of. A lot of the middle areas, like crust punky stuff, is not for me. I don't really like it. So, not really as consistent as some other bands. They have some albums I don't like. Even the later stuff it's fine. It's pretty good. Arctic Thunders I love. Old Star's fun. But are they anything special? Not really. So, really, for Dark Throne, it's those early albums. Like, the death metal one, then you got the Unholy Trinity and Panzerfaust and some other stuff. Ravishing Grimness is amazing. Total Death's fun as well. But then it just kind of falls off, so I can understand Dark Throne, Shane. I know you're trying to be a twat, but I can understand it. Astavalo says Behemoth, could never get into them despite my love for Black and Extreme. Comes off as hard and edgy. It's like the Imagine Dragons of black metal. Holy shit. Behemoth has kind of gone on a decline recently. I Loved You at Your Darkest was okay, and then this new one I don't like at all. Some people are loving it. What the fuck is wrong with you? But yeah, Behemoth is a hard one. I like a lot of their albums. You got the more black metal stuff, you got the more death metal stuff. For me, I enjoy all their albums, really. Then even the newest one I slammed is still fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but you could say they're overrated. They're headlining stuff now. They get overshadowed. I mean, they overshadow other bands equally as good, so yeah, fuck it. Overrated. Hey, Metal Trenches. He said Mayhem as well. Yeah, a lot of people are saying Mayhem. Dingleberry has a couple of bands, Tariha, Satyricon, Migwa, Revenge, and Uada. I'm surprised you put Migwa and Uada on, because I can understand Uada. I'm definitely not saying that right. Uada, that band. Because they're just copying Migwa. But I don't understand Migwa. I know a lot of people are loving them recently, but they're actually good. All their albums are fantastic. Migwa has an amazing catalogue. So I don't understand overrated for that one. They're actually good. Someone said only slightly, but I'd say Dissection. Holy shit. Oh my god. They only have 3 albums. 2 of them are like the best melodic black metal albums of all time. One of them's a pretty good melodic death/black album. It's alright. It doesn't deserve the hate. It gets more hate, so I don't understand Dissection's pick. I wouldn't say they're overrated. I know Farben doesn't like Dissection. But yeah, I think they're fantastic. Talk about melodic black, they're one of the best. Discovery Metal Legion, go sub to his channels. Jamie, the Australian cunt, said 1349, can't get into the older stuff, uninspired trash. This is from Jamie himself, calling 1349 uninspired trash. That's fucking harsh. That's harsh. Overrated, I don't hear many people talking about them, so I'm not going to agree. They're not really, you know, they're not on the same level as Burzum, Mayhem, Dark Throne, so I'm not going to agree with you there. Then he said Satyricon, but he likes some of their stuff. I can agree with Satyricon. Devon says all of them except Dark Fortress. Dark Fortress is great. They're really underrated. I agree with that. Hector Escobar says all of them. You little twat. Nick says Nagarath. I don't hear loads of people talking about them, so I'm not going to agree. Batushka, you like them, but you only have one good album, the rest is pretty much meh, and that's by Saint Sins. Yeah, Batushka gets a lot of hype, and there's a couple of Batushkas, too many Batushkas, but really, like, it's that debut, and then the rest is just kind of meh. So, I can kind of agree with that, kind of. More Burzum, more Marduk, although this guy says Marduk are the Anthrax of black metal, and most of the raw or overly done folkish stuff are bad. What? No, folky stuff's great. Nocturnal Mortem, Druk, all that. I fucking love the folky shit. I love the folky shit. Fuck you. Benighted says Obituary. That's not even the right genre, Benighted. Lamp of Murmur? Interesting. More for Watain. Watain's getting a lot now. I can see that. It's kind of cookie cutter. But the latest Watain album is actually fucking fantastic. So go really listen to the latest one from this year. It's actually really good. Someone says Beherit. Says it's clumsy music. There were teenagers doing it at a Halloween party. Yeah, I wouldn't say overrated because no one talks about them. For me, Overrated is like the most popular bands that everyone talks about. Mayhem, Dark Throne, Burzum. Beherit isn't among them, so I can't consider them overrated. And someone said the correct answer is Dark Throne. Yeah, I can see that as well. And someone says Dark Throne again. I've tried so hard to appreciate something about the band, but try as you might, you can't polish a steaming pile of shit. Oh my god. Wow. I'm surprised at the hate of Dark Throne, because compared to a lot of them, Dark Throne, some of the best albums like of black metal history. Transylvanian Hunger, Blazing Northern Sky, Panzerfaust. Oh my god. These make me hard. So, yeah, this is surprising. Some of them not so surprising. Mayhem, Burzum, Watain, Satyricon, Dark Funeral. I kind of expected those kind of bands. Others came out of left field. 1349, Jamie, what? Beherit? What? Migwa? What? Yeah, so this was fun, seeing what you guys thought was the most overrated black metal band of all time, and the general consensus is Mayhem. Seems to be Mayhem is the most overrated black metal band of all time, and seeing as though it's the one most people get into first, I can understand that. So let me know if you want more of these community videos, because I think it's fun to get people's opinions out there. What do you think is the most overrated black metal band of all time? And we'll see you again on another Quest for Metal.